Welcome to this episode of Locked In. In this episode, I'm doing my quick review of the WideFoot cargo mount and leader cage. If you're looking to expand the capacity for water or storage and have a versatile mount that you can pretty much put anywhere, this episode's for you, and please stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I really would appreciate it if you would. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the specs and features of both of these mounts from WideFoot, as well as mounting and the versatility of these mounts, price, and my final thoughts. So first off, let's start with the cargo mount. This is going to be something that I think is really attractive, and the reason why I reached out to the company, they did provide me both these mounts, but I did not take any money. This is all my own thoughts and my own independent review. Now, what really drew me to these cages were one, the size, the weight, and just the versatility, because you can actually use these outside of using your traditional anything cage that predominantly only lives on your fork. And so I think these are a super versatile mount that I think you would be interested in, and that's why I'm doing this review. So the specs of this are, it is made out of aluminum, it is made in the United States, as well as the leader cage as well, and it comes in at only 68 grams, and you can see how small this is. Now I know most bike packers or tourers aren't going to care about the weight, but let me show you something to really give this perspective overall. So here is my Salsa Anything cage, which is substantially larger than the cargo mount. So for one, obviously the weight is over double for this. It's about 145 grams per cage. And if you're using two of these, obviously that's about a half a pound of weight overall. And everything, especially when you're doing a tour or bike packing, every single gram is going to add up onto just your daily fatigue. So lightening up your bike, as well as making a more minimal mount that is going to give you more clearance when you don't have maybe a bag in there. So if you're riding, let's say, some trails because you've already set up camp, I wouldn't even worry about taking this off while on the bike and riding around the area to explore and enjoy, where this I would completely take the time to take off because I'd be worried this thing would get sheared off while I'm riding. The other big feature for this mount is just the variety of the mounting positions that you can use on this cage. So this means that if you just simply have two water bottle bosses on your frame or on your fork, you can definitely use this. And being such a sturdy, rigid material, I wouldn't worry about doing that. I would just maybe worry about how much weight you're going to be putting on here. But this is really going to add a lot of versatility and variety of positioning for this, so you can position it accordingly so you won't have any frame or component interference when mounting this cage, so that it's basically going to work on anything no matter what size of rider or what kind of bike you own. And I think that's a killer feature that is definitely something that is very well thought out on this product and why I really like it. As far as the leader cage, it just looks like a big water bottle cage, and that's essentially what it is because it's designed around the Nalgene bottle. Now this cage is going to have the same amount of mounting options just like the cargo mount, so you can again position it very low or higher in your frame so that you can clear both your water bottle bosses and simply add 32 or 48 or even more ounces to your bike as far as your water carrying capacity. So this cage can be coupled with one of their volet straps that they do offer on the site. They have a variety of colors and lengths options for both these cages to add extra security. Now, if it's in my frame, I probably wouldn't use this, but if I was carrying it on my fork, I definitely would add an extra security strap, or if I was running it underneath the down tube. And you can purchase your Nalgene bottles directly from them as well, and I'll have links for their website in the description below. So now let's get on to mounting options and where you can really put both of these mounts. Now again, the cargo mount I think is the most versatile mount because obviously you can just simply run a Nalgene bottle with two straps on here and carry it with you. Now obviously that's not as quick as convenient as the leader cage, but because of their variety of mounting options and how they design the holes on here, you can easily mount it to the front fork like I already have. You can simply place this cage on the down tube, on your seat tube, meaning you could technically, on this bike specifically, you could run 5 of these cages on this bike to have the most versatile setup ever. And I don't have that many to show you, but it'd be really cool if I did, to show you basically the variety of things you can carry. So this is where these mounts are very universal, and again, no matter what you have mount-wise, as long as you at least have 2 standard water bottle bosses, you can put this on your bike and again, carry a variety of items. Now the footage you're gonna see here, I'm basically carrying mainly a dry bag or the water bottle setup, and that's just because that's what I currently own. And as my gear expands, I'm excited to use these even more going into 2021. So if you are doing something epic like the Tour Divide and you want to carry even bigger bottles than what Nalgene offers to carry something crazy for a multi-day no water bike packing trip, you can totally use these. And I don't personally have thousands and thousands of miles on these, but I've seen Ryan Doozer's video and he uses these mounts and he's got tons of miles on these and he's never talked about any of them failing. So I have complete faith that these are gonna survive no matter what I throw at them. So that's gonna lead me into price. This is a US-based company, and even so, these mounts, yes, are a little bit on the price premium, but I think the build quality and the advantages you get are totally worth it. So the cargo mount cage is gonna range between $45 to $55 depending on options as far as color and belay straps and length that you're gonna wanna be picking up with it. And then you're gonna be $32 for the leader cage, and that is not including an Nalgene bottle, but again, you can get some from WideFoot if you'd like, and you don't already have one at home. So that's gonna get me into my final thoughts. If you're a tourer, commuter, or bike packer, for my personal own backstory, when I used to commute and ride to the bike shop that I manage, I would have loved to have this bottle cage because that was a main concern for me, is carrying enough water and having a container that wasn't a bike bottle while working. If I wasn't working at a bike shop, obviously that'd be a little bit different as far as perception of why do you have your sports bottle with you. So this carrying extra volume and convenience when off the bike, I really do enjoy. Now the cargo mount, I would say, is the most versatile of the two mounts, but the convenience factor of having this on your bike so that you can simply pull this out without having to unstrap the VeloStrap obviously is an added benefit. So as far as the cargo mounts go, I think if you're looking for a setup that you want to basically maybe leave on your bike full time, I definitely would recommend these because of the size and weight reduction you're going to get on pretty much anything else that I've seen on the market. And because of the small footprint, the width of your bike as far as how wide it is, at least in my experience, it's a lot more narrow than my pedals are, so I'm a lot less worried that this is gonna get caught on anything. And honestly, it looks really clean too. I wouldn't mind leaving this on the bike, and there's no other cages right now that I know on the market that I'd be willing to do the same with the secure mounting options, as well as having a foot on the cage, because that does add extra layer of security when riding on rough terrain so that your bag especially doesn't fall out of the bottom when hitting a big bump. So if you have any more questions about these mounts, please put them in the comments below. I plan to have these exclusively on my bike, coupled with some bike packing bags when doing any of my bike packing rides in 2021. Hopefully more and more campsites are opening, but tag me in any of your bike packing videos if you've posted your own. And lastly, if you want to help support this channel, you can via my Spreadshirt, where I offer my Slow But Look Pro and it is my Bike OK merchandise, as well as on Patreon. And you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And lastly, turn notifications on so you can see all the cycling content I put out on this channel. And thanks for watching this episode of Locked In.
Let's get locked in today, like tutorial.